You're now listening to The Tony Gebhard Show, available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Tony Gebhard Show. I'm your host, Tony Gebhard. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit heavier, and it's been weighing on my mind a little bit. I've watched friendships crumble, families split apart, and love get overshadowed, all over political differences. And I have to ask, when did politics become more important than people? This isn't about sides. It's about priorities, who you vote for, and even if you vote at all, it should never be more important than how you treat others around you in your life. So let's talk about it.
Let's just be honest here. Things have gotten out of control. We've stopped seeing each other as human beings and started seeing each other as political labels. And I get it. Politics impact our lives. Policies shape the way we live. But what I don't understand is how we've allowed something so far out of our control to dictate how we treat the people in our control, the people right in front of us. I've seen people stop talking to their own parents because they voted differently. I've seen longtime friends cut ties over an argument about policies. And listen, if someone is harming you personally, I understand setting boundaries. But cutting someone out of your life because of who they voted for, that's a whole different thing. And the irony, none of these politicians we're fighting about are losing sleep over us. They're not the ones missing family gatherings, dealing with broken friendships, or carrying the weight of lost relationships. We are. So I have to ask, at what point do we stop letting politics dictate our personal connections? Now let's shift gears. I want to ask you something. What actually matters to you? Because I don't think it's whether someone has a different stance on tax reform. Here's what I know for sure. Sides don't matter. Making sure people are fed does. Who supports an initiative doesn't matter. Keeping the lights on does. At the end of the day, no political party is paying your bills, supporting your mental health, or showing up for your family. So why do we let them dictate who we associate with? If someone in your life is kind, supportive, and shows up for you, but you're ready to throw that all away because of who they voted for, I think it's time to ask yourself what you truly value. Because if we don't take a step back, we're going to keep losing the people who actually do make a difference in our daily lives, just because we disagree on things we may never have control over. All right, let's get real for a second. I didn't vote in this election, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Not because I don't care, but because I don't believe my vote holds the power people say it does. Now, before you start yelling at your speakers, let me explain. I've seen the same cycle play out over and over again. Politicians make big promises, and no matter who wins, people are still struggling. Rent is still high, groceries are still expensive, and there are still people out there who can't afford basic necessities. So instead of putting my energy into something I feel is out of my control, I put it into things that actually create change in my world. I make sure my clients have the technology and support they need. I make sure the people in my life feel loved, valued, and seen. I work hard to make sure I can buy groceries every week and build a life with my partner, no matter who thinks our love is a problem. To me, that's real impact. And no ballot is ever going to be more powerful than showing up for people in real, meaningful ways. Let's talk about something that's been bothering me for a while, how politics has been used as a weapon to justify cruelty. People use political beliefs as an excuse to cut others off, treat them as lesser, or dismiss their struggles entirely. And I'll be honest, being in a same-sex relationship, I've seen firsthand how some people use their political and religious views as a way to say my relationship is wrong. But here's the thing, my love is not up for debate. Who I love, how I live, and the way I choose to build my life is not something anyone else gets to control. And it's not just about me. There are so many people out there who are facing discrimination, not because of who they are as individuals, but because of political or religious ideologies that have no business dictating how others live their lives. At what point do we recognize that weaponizing politics to harm people is the real problem? So, where do we go from here? First, I think we all need to take a deep breath and remember that we're human before we're political. I want to challenge you. Instead of arguing, ask yourself, what do I actually value in this person? Can we start having real open conversations instead of shutting each other out? If politics has made you forget how to love, maybe it's time to reassess what really matters. Because at the end of the day, politics are temporary. Policies change. Leaders come and go. But people, the relationships we build, the love we share, that's what truly matters. So if you've let politics convince you to cut someone off, I ask you to reconsider. And if you're struggling with this, just ask yourself, when did I stop seeing humans and start seeing enemies? Because the world is hard enough as it is. We don't need to make it harder by turning on each other. Thanks for tuning in to the Tony Gebhard Show. If this episode resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts, pass this episode along, and let's get back to what really matters, each other. I'll catch you next time. Remember, you are loved and you matter.